The most important moment in time in the golf swing is impact, when the club and the ball collide. What if I could show you a drill today that's so simple yet so effective at helping you perfect that impact position you see so many of the professionals make. This will improve your contact, this will improve your distance, and finally help you to start compressing those golf shots just like the professionals do. So if you've watched enough golf or you've watched enough videos, you should know by now that the way to hit a golf ball from the ground is for the club to have a slightly downward or descending blow when it hits the ground. That means that you hit the ball first and the ground second. That also requires a few other things to be in place. Namely, we want to have the weight forward. We've spoken about that countless times on this channel. And at the same time, good players, the best ball strikers, are delivering a certain amount of shaft lean at impact. Shaft lean is simply the description of the shaft having a slight forward lean to it when you hit the ball. And the reason that we do that is to produce that downward hit that I was describing, and also to help the golfer hit the true center or the sweet spot of the club. This exercise is super simple but super effective at training that desired sweet spot control, that shaft lean, that low point control of hitting the ball first and the ground second. What you're going to do is going to grab a ball and you're going to grab a marker pen. Now, this works brilliantly for those of you that are fortunate enough to practice in an indoor environment, whether that's at a GOLFTEC or another indoor training facility. It's also great if you're lucky enough and fortunate enough to have one of your own indoor setups at home. But this also works if you can only get to the driving range. But you're just going to use a wipeable marker. It doesn't have to be permanent. And as I say, you're going to take the golf ball. And we're going to go ahead and make a mark on the ball. So we're just going to fill in one of the dimples. So there's my dot on the ball. And what we're going to do is we're going to come back to the mat and we're going to set that down on the mat with the dot facing backwards, facing towards where the club would be, and that dot is going to be positioned on the equator of the golf ball, so that halfway up position. And we're doing this exercise with a 7-iron, and that's quite important because where that dot sits is somewhat relevant to the club that you're about to use. What we're going to be able to do here, I'm going to be able to demonstrate to you how, if I was to deliver that desired shaft lean at impact, I was going to have my weight forward and my shaft forward and create these alignments where I hit down correctly and compress the ball. I'm going to be able to put that dot onto the golf club. I'm going to be able to leave a mark on the club face of that dot. And that's going to tell me and help me to understand and help me to train the correct impact alignment. It's going to help me to hit down and compress this ball. So I'm going to go ahead and hit one and show you what that would look like. Pretty standard shot. Little bit of a push. I'll come in and show you that on the camera. You can see there how the dot's on the club face, but it's slightly high and it's also slightly towards the heel. So this exercise isn't just great at helping you to train those desired impact alignments, is great at training this sweet spot control, this ability to move this club around you and back to the ball, and not only strike correctly in terms of getting the ball first and the ground second from this camera view, but also in terms of getting the strike correct in this horizontal component, out and in, whether you hit the toe or the heel. So ball on the ground, dot on the back, lined up on the equator, 7-iron in hand. Let's go ahead and make a full swing. That was a slightly better feeling one. Again, the dots moved slightly closer to the middle, which is good. So I'm able to deliver this shaft lean and get this desired outcome. What happens if you try this drill and you don't see any feedback on your club face? Well, the chances are you're like the thousands and thousands of other golfers out there struggling to make consistent contact, because as you deliver this club, you're delivering not enough or minimal shaft lean, and in fact some of you have even got the club head overtaking the hands. And if you deliver the club in that fashion, you're susceptible to extremely challenging low point control. You're likely going to be hitting the ground before the ball, you're going to be pulling up with your arms to avoid hitting the ground, and then you're going to top the ball. So if I didn't deliver the club as I wanted to, if I was subject to keeping my weight back, releasing this club too early, casting and flipping at impact, I'll go ahead and hit one of these where I stay back, and we'll see if there's any feedback on the club face. So that wasn't a horrible shot. I thinned it a little bit, and if you look at the face, it's completely clear. There's nothing on there at all. So although I made reasonable contact in a sense, I hit slightly low on the club face. As I say, it was a little bit thin. If I look at the screen, you may have looked at that shot if you're at the driving range or on your simulator at home or at your training location. You may have looked at that shot and thought, it's not too bad, it's okay, it would work. And to an extent it would work for a short while out on the golf course, but you're playing with very small margins of error right here, and if you just decided to hang back a little bit more, or you released that shaft a fraction earlier, you're going to find you're going to get all sorts of problems with your ball striking. So this exercise will show you very, very quickly and very, very clearly whether or not you're able to deliver these desired impact alignments with some shaft lean, that hitting down, that low point control, and that compression that you're looking for. Or if you're a golfer who can't deliver those desired impact alignments right now, and you're subject to the topping, the fatting, and the thinning that's frustrating your golf game right now. So if you are struggling, we're going to get you set up when feeling this drill before you hit the ball. This is sometimes referred to as an impact fix drill. I set up impact and fix impact before the golfer swings back. So take you from a setup position, going to make some adjustments where we lean the shaft forwards. So we're trying to de-loft the golf club effectively by moving the hands forward. I'm also moving my weight forward and opening up my hips a little bit. This is helping me also to create a little bit more shoulder tilt. Right now at this point in time, I've got 90% of my weight on my front foot. I've also got quite a bit of pressure here pushing into the back of the shaft with my trail hand and the index finger here really of my trail hand. I've got some pressure down on the shaft, I've got my weight forward, and I've got this shaft lean. Once I've felt what that feels like, I'm going to come back to a normal setup. I'm going to try and swing and recreate those alignments as I swing through. Felt pretty good. We got the contact pretty much in the middle of the face, slightly heel again, but far enough up the club face. One of the things to note about this as well is how far up the club face, how many grooves up the club face this is, because the location of that sweet spot for most of you in your irons is going to be a little bit above those bottom grooves, and oftentimes you're hitting low on the face, you're losing distance, you're getting that slightly uncomfortable feedback off the club in terms of vibrations and the feeling that you didn't quite make perfect contact. One final time, let's just make another dot on my ball. Let's place it on the ground, pointing it back behind me with that dot sitting on the equator of the golf ball, so halfway up. Okay, let's put my pen down for a second, and we're going to go ahead and hit one more. This time I'm just going to do it a little slower, just to help you see what we're trying to get to at impact, and I'll slow this swing down for you after I hit this shot so that you can really get to understand those impact alignments that we're looking for. Yeah, another one pretty much in the center. If you can't do this at full speed to start with, start out with some shorter chip shots, for example. Just start hitting some small little chip shots, keeping the shaft lean, gradually lengthen out the swing, trying to keep these alignments. I think this is an excellent task and drill to set yourself, that you can work through the levels. You can start out small and very much as a beginner level of this exercise, just chipping the golf ball out there super, super slow. I'll just do one of those to show you what I mean. I won't put a dot on the ball this time, but I'll just explain how getting the shaft forward, getting the weight forward, forward. And just punching or chipping these balls out there a very, very short distance is going to begin to teach you the feeling of those alignments that we're looking for at impact. And just as importantly, it's going to begin to give you that feedback of striking and compressing the ball. That little chip shot I hit there felt fantastic because I know it came out the center of the club. So if you're looking for better ball striking, if you're looking for a way to build up your improvement at this skill, then this exercise is super, super simple, but super effective at helping you get those desired impact alignments and achieving that shaft lean that you all desire so much. So there's a really easy way to learn better impact alignments. More shaft lean, more centered contact on the club face, better compression on your golf shots, which is ultimately going to lead to better scores. And all you need is a marker pen. It really couldn't be any simpler than that. Guys, thank you for watching the video this week. If you enjoyed it, do go ahead and hit that like button, and if you're not already subscribed to the channel, please click that subscribe button and the bell for notifications. I want to know what you think about this exercise. If it helps you improve your ball striking, please get down in the comments and let me know what you thought. I'm excited because the Live Golf Tournament is coming to Sentosa Golf Club in Singapore this weekend, and after the fun they had last week in Australia, I'm truly excited and looking forward to a fun few days over there this weekend, where all of the golfers will be leaning the shaft forward at impact and making perfect contact every time. If you're still looking for some shaft lean secrets and ways to deliver that club in that most desirable way to help you hit the ball better than ever before, then check out this video next, which goes into a little bit more detail on the importance of shaft lean and how you can achieve it.